Hello. Good evening, good morning, depending on where you're at. I am going to start off with I'm very sorry that I missed Saturday's stream. I changed my day and I'm not used to doing it on Saturday. And it was probably about 9, maybe 9:30. No, it might have been earlier than that. And I was like, oh no, I totally forgot to stream. So I apologize for that for anybody who was looking forward to it. Not that there's many of you out there right now. But tonight we are making little axolotls. I have just some purple and pinks right now. I'm going to be doing some other colors here shortly. I'm trying to actually use up my small leftover bits here, and that's kind of why I started working on these with. I thought it would be easier to do this and use it up and without having like a bigger project. I was looking for smaller projects to use. So this is kind of where we're at. I'm almost finished with this one's body. And then I'll probably just get started on another body instead of doing the accents. I kind of found it a little bit easier to kind of roll with it and do one thing at a time, and then go through and do the other pieces at a different point. Just my personal preference, really. Kind of keeps me in the groove. I might sew the tails in just because that part will be finished, but oh, if I even brought anything over here to do that with. Don't have scissors, don't have my needle. Oh, there's a pair of scissors. I attempted to make a small bunny out of this material the other day. It did not go well. Kind of looked like a little possessed bunny, which was kind of funny, but not something I really wanted to sell. So I gave it to my daughter. I have no idea what she's done with it. She has now misplaced that little dude somewhere in this house, and I am randomly probably going to come across it and be horrified when I find it because I won't know what it is. I'll probably step on it. Who knows? We are in the process of moving, so random things appear at random times. I'm going to see if I can get one more out of this. I don't think I can, but I'm going to give it a shot. I don't remember where I found this pattern. I really wish I could remember so that I could tell you guys and share it. I know it was a free pattern. I can't remember who it was that did it. I did kind of make a few of my own changes to it though. I don't follow that pattern to a T. Kind of took my own liberties to it, which is part of the reason that I don't actually remember where it came from, because I used it for the first one that I made and then just kind of did my own thing off of trying the one. One, two, three, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna make it. It's looking pretty slim already. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just take a bunch of my little leftover colors and make a Mod Podge little axolotl, just a multicolored little dude. Or maybe what I can do is this will last long enough to do the rest of the head, and then the body can be a different color, which would be kind of cute. I think that would give it a fun little look. Too bad I don't have enough pink. I don't think the pink I have would be enough to do the body. Maybe. Might use that for a different one. I might use maybe a blue for the base of this. I'm not sure. I think I can do this last round on the head and I should be okay. Let's see. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, I still have some left. I don't think that will be enough to do the round, because in this one it's going to have the legs on it too, and when the legs are these little bobbins here, or the little bubble stitch, puff stitch, multiple names have been given to it, but they're big enough that I don't think this will last the full round, so I don't want to go through that full round. So I think I'm just gonna pass this off for right now. Don't think I'm gonna use the pink right now. That will probably go onto this dude. That way I have some. I might do a different color on him just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Kind of one of the reasons that I'm working on just the bodies first before I do the accents is then I can kind of mix it up so that there's different colors for everybody. Make it a little bit more fun, hopefully, especially for the kiddos, since they're going to be the ones that are probably using these anyway, or not using these, playing with these. Well, I guess it's using, all the same. This yarn is Loops and Thread, Michael's. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's very soft. I love how the items come out. The biggest issue I have with it is this. It shreds super easy. I normally do magic rings for all of my stuff. I prefer it. I can get a nice tight close. I cannot do a magic ring with these, and I don't want to go and get some acrylic yarn to do the magic ring with them. So I do the chain 2 and then back into the loop. I just don't feel like it does as well of a close, but I just love how these feel. This guy will kind of be fun. He'll be a different color. don't think there's actually green axolotls, but that's okay. I think it's also maybe a little bit more of a more fun Easter color, maybe. Especially if I have this lighter green that I can put on for the accents for some of them. So that could be a lot of fun. Give it some cute looks. Just like what I did with these guys. I have the purple and the pink and the pink and the purple. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we get a little bit farther into this here. I'm also going to make some that are baby friendly. So I'm going to do some of these that don't have eyes. This last guy here, I actually meant to make him a baby friendly one, and I was about halfway through the body when I realized I put eyes in there, and I wasn't meaning to on this one. It was just habit. So I will not have a purple baby friendly one, unfortunately. I'm on a yarn hold for now, especially while we're in the midst of moving. I can't really go out and buy more yarn unless it's a special order for somebody. So I think to make sure that I don't do that with this, I probably won't put eyes in this one. So I could probably maybe 2 or 3 out of this one I can hopefully get. One more round for the head. All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. Oh, an itchy nose tonight. Okay. One. Two. Three. Two, three. Should probably be doing these in a yarn under. I've been making them all with yarn over. But then the little legs don't line up quite right. And I'm wondering if I did yarn under instead of yarn over, if it would cause them to line up a little bit better. It doesn't really bother me so much. I think it's still adorable regardless. But I don't know if other people will care. Probably not. Because again, it's mostly for kids. I'm sure I'll have a couple of adults who will purchase them, hopefully. But it's marketed more towards the kiddos than anything. Stuff the head before I get too far along. I almost have enough colors to do a little rainbow theme with them all. Yeah, see, the legs are always just slightly off. It doesn't really bother me too much. I think it looks fine. One, two, three, 4, 5, and 6. I'm gonna finish stuffing the body. little bit more stuffing if I can. Maybe not. There we go. All right. Now we're going to do our last round, close them up. And then later when I go to stitch on all of the smiles to everybody, I will also do this dude's eyes and any of the other ones that I turn into baby safe style. Gives everybody a little peace of mind when there's not little eyes that they can choke on, and it's very much just dependent on the parent. Some parents don't care. Some parents want them baby safe. So I try to give options. So if they want to give them to their little, they can. My daughter has had stuff like this, but I always keep an eye on her. So it's never really been an issue for us to give her stuff like this. My son's not quite old enough yet to be playing with anything like this yet. So he might be rougher on toys. He might not have that same luxury. I'm not sure yet. And we have one green axolotl body. I might give this one eyes. I haven't decided. Still kind of going back and forth. I do like the looks with the eyes, but with how small they are, I do worry a little bit about them falling out of this yarn. Not a ton, but I feel like if they pull enough on it that they might be able to get them out, even older kids. Not that you generally have the risk of older kids eating them, but never say never, right? Trash. Let's see. I don't know if anybody else has trouble with their rings and yarn, but occasionally becomes an issue. I get them stuck between my wedding and engagement rings sometimes. It gets really frustrating. It doesn't help that the two don't really go together. I love them, but they create like a little pinch here since they don't belong and they don't butt up next to each other super nice. So it creates a little trap and the yarn gets stuck in there. I like this pattern, super easy to work up for the most part. Not a ton of issues getting it built. Sorry, I had to open up a window. I'm getting a little hot. Which makes it super easy when you don't generally have to put a whole lot of thought into this one. You can just kind of cruise through it. There's no real right or wrong with how you do it until you're putting on the legs. You obviously don't want limbs on different sides of the body, but it's just a very simple rounds. Trying to think of what other smaller items I can make a bunch of to have at my market that can be fun colors, seeing as it's going to be Easter based. I think I am going to make some chickens. I had a couple people who seemed interested in some more chickens. I'm not really a huge fan of doing like the Mabel chickens or anything along those lines. I feel like so many other people do them. But I had a couple other vendors who were interested in them. And so I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't just make some to bring. I just don't know with the other vendors that are going to be there how many of them are going to be crochet vendors and what they're going to bring. I know one of the girls, she doesn't tend to do a lot of the popular things, I guess is a good way to put it. But she does do cute things in those aspects. I mean, I've seen her, she's had like some javelina. 18. Oh god, kind of lost track. She's done like cute little javelina and cactus, and most of her stuff is done in the plushy style, where I kind of have a mix of acrylic and plush. Most of my creatures are plush, but I do have blankets and stuff that are in acrylic as well. Mm. Sorry, you probably hear my bag crunching. I'm snacking away on some candies over here while I work. You know, safe finger food. Doesn't get the yarn all sticky and crunchy and weird. Mm. My head seems very long, like I screwed something up. I did screw something up. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine. One, two, two. Oops. There we go. 4. And 1, 2, 3. Actually, that was perfect. All right. I think I'm going to put eyes on this guy. So, now I'm going to dig through my giant pile of eyes here, find the right size. Mm-hmm. All right. Now comes the fun part. Lining it up. So they look at least close. He looks a little angry. There we go. Well, I do not think I will get a third one out of this roll. This is where I'm thinking that the whole yarn over yarn under seems to be a better option. Because now I'm into that pickle again. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the first one lined up pretty well. I don't know how well the second one's going to line up. Pop that little foot out. Two. It didn't line up too bad. It's mostly lined up. One, two, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Give me just 1 second. My son is fussing. I don't know if that will make him happy, but I'm going to try. Stuff this dude's little body and get him all closed up. stuffing. I don't like stuffing them completely full. It's a personal preference for me, just because I don't want to stuff them to the point that the seams are breaking. Because then when I work with acrylics, I have that same habit, and acrylics tend to show faster than the plush yarn does. So I don't want to show insides. So I tend to just stuff on the lighter side all the time to make sure I stay in that habit. As you can see, this is all just falling off. This is the reason I don't care for this yarn in some aspects. I feel like even just the string itself tends to break a little easier than some other brands. There we go. There's one more done with eyes this time. You know, I might be able to get one more out of this. I think I'm going to give it a shot. Hold on. My son is getting fussy again. He's trying to put himself to sleep, and he's just not doing a very good job of it. So for this dude, I do a 6 magic circle, and then I increase to 18. I do 3 rounds of the 18 before I decrease back down to a 12. That gives it just enough of the body to put his little accents on. 14. And what did I do with my stitch marker? Did I leave it in the other view? I did. One second. Okay. Let's see how much farther we can get before he spits his binky back out again. It has been a day of many opinions in this house today between the two children. I don't generally bother with the stitch markers when I'm working on these guys. But because I'm talking and or reading while I'm doing this with you guys, I put the stitch marker in just to make sure that I don't lose my place. Really, a stitch or two one way or the other isn't going to make a huge difference on these guys. But if you want them to look uniform, it's obviously the best thing you should do is use a stitch marker. Don't do what I do and just wing it, otherwise you wind up with things that have weird sizes. 12, 18, 1, 2, 3. One more row. I might just barely make it. It's gonna be really, really close if I do. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oops. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1 second. Um, let's try 2, 3. Okay. One round. There we go. 1, 2. I think I'm gonna do this one eyeless too. I am not going to make it. I can tell that right now. Looking at this, looking what I have left, I don't think I'm going to win this game of yarn chicken. What's incredibly unfortunate about this is I will be so close to the end when I run out. One, 2, 3. Oh, well, no, I might just skate by here. One, 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Let me stuff. All right. Anybody out there want to take bets with themselves? I have one more round of 6. And then a round of 4. This is all I got left. Will I make it? One, two, three, four. I somehow had an extra stitch in there. So we are going to do one more to close. I am honestly very surprised that I had this much left over. That's actually a decent little chunk, although the closest game of Yarn Chicken I've played in a while. So now we're just going to stitch him up, get him out on his way. And there we go. We now have our third completed one of the evening. I don't feel like that's too bad of a rate I have going on here, especially since I'm talking. Had to get up a few times, but I'm doing pretty good so far. Now the question is, which color do I do next? I do have some other lighter colors. I've considered doing some grays. Looks like I have another pink. Oh. Apparently, I do have more purple, so I might be able to finish that one in purple. If I choose to go that route. I don't think I'm going to work on purple tonight. But I do have that option. I also have more of that light pink, apparently. Although, you know what? This might actually be Burnett blanket instead of loops and thread. Yeah, this is Burnett. That's okay. I might make some of this guy eventually too. I think I'm gonna pick another fun color. I think maybe we'll go with this fun teal. Is it teal technically? It doesn't have a color name, just the SKU. But another loops and thread. This is one of the ones. Actually, I think that they discontinued this one in my store. But it all works the same. So I think I'll use this color and see what we can do with this. My only concern is this is a little bit of a hot mess, so I'm kind of worried about trying to do a center pole in it. I don't know if it's actually going to go through, or if I'm going to wind up having a mess. Got a tiny yarn vomit, but also found the end. But we all know how that works. You'll start pulling on it and it starts turning into a big knot, so I might as well just go ahead and try and fix it now before I actually get going. Try to clean it up so that way I don't have to stop. Hopefully I don't have to stop. I think this whole skein is going to be an issue. Maybe we'll make some more tonight. Let's see. For some reason, this one does not feel nearly as soft as the other ones have. And I don't like that. I always hate when you get that random one that's just not the same texture. And I probably just got so excited at the color, because this is one of my favorite colors, that I didn't even feel it to see if it was as soft as the other ones. So, it's all right. Maybe it means that this one's just a little bit more durable. It definitely doesn't want to slide as nice. Definitely not nearly as smooth as the other ones are. I may come back to this one. This one is mildly frustrating. So, we're gonna go to this blue instead. This one's much softer, probably much smoother. Hopefully won't yarn vomit on me. Just a little bit. That's way easier to deal with. I think I'm gonna have a little knot here in a minute, but definitely a lot easier right now. Try that again. There we go. 12. I'm gonna pull some of this out. Oh, good Lord, what did I do? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. This blue one also doesn't feel nearly as soft. I wonder if it has something to do with the blue color. I mean, it's still definitely softer than the other one, but not nearly as close as these ones are. I don't know if the blue dye is different for some reason. I don't know. I think I will probably finish this blue one and then be done for the night. I got a lot of work going on, especially with trying to get the house ready to sell. So Might be calling it a little early. Hopefully, once we get everything done and taken care of, I can actually spend some more time on here and not feel absolutely exhausted by the end of the day between work and trying to do the kids. I didn't do much housework today in terms of getting it ready, but I am exhausted due to the kids and everything else. So I think I'll finish this blue one with you guys, and then I will head off for the evening. But I think it'll be fun to see how this guy turns out. One, two, three. All right. I'm also going to make this one without eyes. Mostly just so that I don't forget. And catching little snacks here on this blue too. Thought I might. I could kind of feel like there's a knot in there that hasn't pulled out yet. Two, 3, 4. Mm, mm, There we go. Four. Mm, 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 3. Mm, mm, 4. This is definitely stiffer. 2. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of having a hard time getting through these stitches for some reason. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4. Alright. Put this little leggy out. Alright. Let's get this guy stuffed, finish him up. More stuffing. Alright. Oops. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to shake you up there. Oh, good lord. There you go. A little overexcited there, sorry. One, 4, 5, and 6. That feels a lot tighter than 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought so. Okay. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's better. Alright, a little bit more stuffing in here. Finish this last 2 rounds. Mm. 3. 4, 5, and 6. Alright, last little bit of this round. Final round, I guess I should say. Switch hands. We've got 1, 2, 3, there. We're gonna snip that. And oh god, I left one everywhere. I'm gonna stitch this little dude up, and that's gonna be it for the evening tonight, folks. All right, I think it was a good evening. All in all, a little short again. Like I said, hopefully once we get moved and settled, things will be a little bit easier to do this, but this is what we're looking at right now that I've created. Obviously, we've got some things to do to these guys over here. These guys got finished the other day. They were just here more for y'all to see. We got these guys. We're gonna have to add eyes to these three, and then accents to everybody else. But I think it's a cute little start.